Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: who is that one character whose death you just can't get over? Brooks from Shawshank Redemption. That scene gets me every time. He died so afraid. Dear fellas, I can't believe how fast things move on the outside. I saw an automobile once when I was a kid, but now they're everywhere. The world went and got itself in a big damn hurry. The parole board got me into this halfway house called the Brewer and a job bagging groceries at the foodway. It's hard work and I try to keep up, but my hands hurt most of the time. I don't think the store manager likes me very much. Sometimes after work, I go to the park and feed the birds. I keep thinking Jake might just show up and say hello, but he never does. I hope wherever he is, he's doing okay and making new friends. I have trouble sleepy at night. I have bad dreams like I'm falling. I wake up scared. Sometimes it takes me a while to remember where I am. Maybe I should get me a gun and rob the foodway so they'd send me home. I could shoot the manager while I was at it, sort of like a bonus. I guess I'm too old for that sort of nonsense anymore. I don't like it here. I'm tired of being afraid all the time. I've decided not to stay. I doubt they'll kick up any fuss. Not for an old crook like me. P.S. Tell Hayward I'm sorry I put a knife to his throat. No hard feelings. Brooks. Edit, had to stop myself from crying while reading it. Shawshank is one of the greatest. Edit /FYI, this got more attention than expected, so if you haven't seen Shawshank, here is where you can find it. HBO Max, free. YouTube, Amazon, Google, Apple, Etsy, $3.99, worth the watch. Edit again cause why not? U/RDS provided this lovely clip of it. https www.youtube.com. I've decided not to stay. I'm crying now, thank you. Edit, I'm no sprog, but here's a poem. I've tried to live. I don't know how. I've had enough. I'm leaving now. Brooks was here. So was Red. That poor bastard who clangs off of the propeller of the Titanic before falling into the ocean in the movie, Titanic. The old couple in the bed and the kids being read to are high on the list, but nothing beats Propeller Dude. RIP. The old couple in the bed. Isida and Ida Straws. In case you want to be more sad about it. Edit, I can't believe Isida and Ida Straws got me 2.0 Kelvin plus upvotes and my third most all time. Happy their story is being shared more. Littlefoot's mom. 5-year-old me was all choked up at the theater. The scene where he sees his own shadow and thinks she's come back. Please stop. The girl, Leslie, in Bridge to Terabithia. I remember watching it as a kid and I was devastated. Haven't seen the movie since. Edit, glad so many of you agree, now I don't have to cry alone anymore. Also want to excuse for everyone I made sad. I read that chapter like 5 times because I just couldn't believe she died and kept thinking I was missing something. It's almost nonchalant in the book, which is great for portraying the character's numbness and denial when he first finds out, but it feels unbelievable that a main character just unexpectedly died with no warning or lead up. Not unbelievable like it's not written well, it just leaves you with this massive gaping hole of disbelief and denial. I think it's supposed to be a reflection of real life. Kids aren't supposed to die, but you could come home one day and your friends is just gone because the world just isn't fair. The author got the idea from when her son's friend suddenly died from being struck by lightning. I imagine the core concept is about how death can come so suddenly out of nowhere. It doesn't always have a build-up. Apparently the author wrote it after her son experienced the loss of a close friend and she couldn't find any children's books addressing it. The part when his dad holds him after he finds out gets me more than her actual death. I mean, it's not even just that she dies, everything surrounding it makes it so much worse. The poor boy has no friends, is dirt poor, gets bullied at school, has a rough home life, etc. Finally this girl shows up and is his friend and genuinely nice to him. Then one day he goes with his teacher to the museum. And she asks him if he knows anyone else who would want to go. He knows his friend would love to go, but since he wants to go alone with the teacher because he has a little crush on her, he says number. That's the day Leslie dies, so naturally he blames himself for not inviting her and not being there to help her. Just awful. Well, this is a very dangerous post to be scrolling through. Mike in Breaking Bad just felt so sorry for his granddaughter. Will you shut up and let me die in peace? On my first run through BB, Mike's death was the moment Walt turned irredeemably bad in my eyes. On my second run through, it was way before then. I guess I was still really rooting for the good guy long after I should have on the first viewing. The worst in the show for me is Andrea. Just the heartlessness, totally undeserved. Even Brock. Just fuck man. Andrea's death is the most traumatizing in the show for me. Just so you know, this is anti-personal. Meth Damon. Hank is a very close second. I did not like Marie, but I felt so bad for her when they cut back to her. At least Hank died with fucking balls. Everyone remembers his last line, but my name is Isaac Schrader, and you can go fuck yourself was too great of a line too. Tadashi Big Hero 6. He didn't deserve it, and he went to save someone who wasn't even in there. Too soon. It came out 8 years ago and I can't let it go. Hodder. Fuck Bran the little curious asshole. I really feel that they glossed over the fact that Bran ruined Hodder's life in addition to getting him killed. Edit, Whoosh. This is probably the most upvotes I've ever gotten on a comment. Feels a little unearned, but I'll take it. Thanks, guys. And then it meant fuck all in the end, too. There was literally no point to any of Bran's walk abilities. Yeah, fuck Bran in general. See, I don't mind that God has a dystopia ending, but it has the gall to claim it's happy. God King Bran is honestly terrifying. He sits on his wayward throne, I can see them 100 years later pouring blood into the roots so he may never truly die. Plus the whole I knew all along, at least Paul Atreides knows he's fundamentally the villain. Sam in I Am Legend. That scene, and the scene after in the video store, wreck me every time. I promised my friend I would say hello to you today. Please say hello to me. Please say hello to me. Will Smith doesn't go hard often, but when he does he goes fucking hard. It quite, but he called her Sam all movie, but when she was dying and he called her Samantha it hit harder lol. Right. I was like. Oh, Sam is a girl. Why does this matter more? I don't know. Doing that humanized her more. Good writing. Maze Who's. It's a terrible day for rain. But it's not rain, oh so it is. 1000% this. Later on, when Mustang is incinerating Envy, I feel the raw emotion of Mustang losing his best friend. The hatred, the anger, the grief, the sadness. All of it cuts me deep every time. Mustang absolutely torching Lust with fire is still one of my favorite scenes in any aim. Envy's is up there also, but the raw screams of pain from Lust really sold her being absolutely burned alive repeatedly. I like to think Mustang made that fire as hot as he possibly could in those scenes. Macaulay Culkin, my girl. He can't see without his glasses. This line hits me hard every time. When my grandmother died in 2019, they forgot her glasses when they removed the body, and my fucking uncle, not knowing the movie, said the same thing to the funeral home people. The laugh crying was monumental. Bing Bong from Inside Out, 2015. Take her to the moon for me, I sobbed. Me too. I tried so hard to hide the tears from my child next to me. Who's your friend who likes to play? Me, replying through sobs, Bing Bong, Bing Bong. Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan's horse. I'll always remember you, Jago 3. I knew for some time that Arthur's days were numbered, but for some reason I was not expecting his horse to die too. That last thank you Arthur whispers to his horse before running away is so fucking sweet but also sad. Old Dan and Little Anne. I was a sick, snot-covered mess of a 6th grader on my first read-through of Where the Red Fern Grows. I recently picked up a copy of Where the Red Fern Grows from a little free library and reread it. I remembered the broad strokes of the story and that the dogs die, but not all the details. I am in my 40s. I was a sick, snot-covered mess of a human when I finished it. The end of that book is brutal. I was very upset about Emo's mom dying along with the rest of his unborn brothers and sisters. Marlon is AG and handled the situation accordingly. There's a live musical theater show with really incredible puppeteering at Walt Disney World called Finding Nemo the Musical. It's about a half-hour long and follows the movie pretty well, including the opening where Coral and Marlon are talking about naming their kids. 30 seconds after that, the Barracuda, a big projection on the wall, comes and there's a flash and a chomping noise and then it's just Marlon's voice breaking, calling out her name. The emotional whiplash of it wrecks me for the rest of the show / the day. Edit, and I'd like to add that you see a grown man alone on stage, holding a giant clowfish puppet on his shoulder, crying out for his suddenly dead wife and children, and this happens about a minute into a fun Disney theater show at a Disney park with an audience full of families with small children. It's nuts.